Hi everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. This video is about the full moon in Cancer and a short synopsis of how it will affect each sign. So, this full moon in Cancer is also called the full wolf moon. It is called this because wolves howl more in the winter months. They're also nocturnal creatures, and they howl to locate each other during a storm, maybe a whiteout, or while crossing um, unfamiliar geography or territory because they cover a vast area. And it is to find their pack members. A howl can even help a lost wolf find its way home. A wolf separated from its pack uses a lonesome howl, like a lonely howl. And that's a direct quote from the Smithsonian National Zoo and Conservation. Also, it can signal potential threats or risks. So, whoever's howling at you during this full moon is most likely hurting, maybe because they feel lost or disregarded, and maybe because, well, probably because of the change that happened during that very volatile super full moon in Aries on October 17th last year. You could have felt it even before that or after that. Once you realize this howl, or maybe it starts as a growl, is a call for understanding and compassion. The healing does overtake you, both of you. Okay, so like I mentioned, or if I didn't, I wanted to put out a quick video regarding this full moon in Cancer because it is an issue which involves family, parents, your home or living situation, and something about money or our value system, um, and a partner, which again was triggered back during that super full moon in Aries. That situation is being revisited during this full moon because of some sort of abrupt, sudden, or surprising outburst or revelation because of information we are now getting that we did not have back in October. Remember, Mars is retrograde, so it's bringing us more information. Mars will keep going back and forth over these degrees until this situation is resolved. Because these relationships are very important to all of us. We're social creatures, and foundation is really important to us. So parents and home. Okay, so look for 23 or 24 degrees in your birth chart to see where you will feel this energy. Also, check to see where Cancer, Taurus, Libra, Capricorn, and Pisces are in your birth chart. And what sign does your Mars occupy? Remember, planets show us what is happening, houses show us which area of our lives is being affected, and signs show us how it is happening or what kind of intensity we will get. So, knowing that this full moon is in Cancer, sextiling Uranus in Taurus. So that's the surprise information, and conjoining Mars. And Mars is taking us back. And then it will trine Neptune in Pisces. That's the compassion we'll be feeling, and realizing that others are not like us or we're not like them, and there has to be this compassion. And this will lead to the Sun in Capricorn opposing Mars in Cancer, Mars retrograde in Cancer. And if that wasn't serious enough, we will also be feeling the serious energy that is building as Venus in Pisces is coming to a conjunction with Saturn by the weekend. And that's some serious stuff happening too there. Um, Simply put, this is actually the planets being really nice and gentle with us, helping most to realize there is a grand new shift at the end of the month, closing in fast and hard, and for us to either let go of what happened in October, or at least let go of a part of that, and maybe our hurt of it, to forgive ourselves, so that when we get a second layer or third, because like I said, Mars is going to go back and forth and bring us all this information that we didn't have or we couldn't speak of, so that we forgive ourselves, so that when we I'm sorry, so that we forgive others as well, because we're here. This part is like forgiving ourselves. And that is why compassion and an esoteric understanding is playing out in this energy with Neptune and Pisces. This is preparing us for coming full circle from 14 years ago, in March, when Neptune will leave Pisces after 14 years. And March is going to be a watershed moment, a turning point that will be melancholy, or maybe bittersweet. In any case, let me stick to this full moon. So let me just pull up the chart. Okay, so the Sun in Capricorn at 24 degrees trines Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees and 24 minutes. So that's the illumination of the information that surprising information that we did not have. Then the full moon at 23 degrees, it's not exactly full at this moment, will sextile Uranus in Taurus. So we get this sudden feeling or revelation regarding that information. And then we have a perfect full moon in Cancer at 24 degrees at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Time. The moon then conjoins Mars in Cancer at 27 degrees, and that's going to be around 11 p.m. tonight. Full moon in Cancer, 27 degrees, will trine Neptune in Pisces at 27:31. And then Mars in Cancer will trine Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees 31 minutes. So, yeah, a lot of growling, howling, um, slowing down, understanding, being surprised, and a lot of healing, uh, and compassion all around. We might, like I said, we might not even say the full story. We're just saying part of the story that was either hidden from us or we weren't ready to reveal back then during the super full moon. And if you guys are subscribers, you'll know. But for the new listeners, I always say I disagree with uh, a lot of astrologers who say full moons illuminate things. Yes, they do. I mean, the moon is illuminating because it's full, circumstances and information. However, it still is the moon. The moon is hidden. It's at night. Our emotions are hidden. So there is something that happens during a full moon that is hidden from us. Okay, so keep that in mind. And this is also building up tension because of the coming of the opposition to Pluto. We're going to have an opposition to Pluto also, don't forget. All right, so before I start boring you, I'm going to just go straight into each sign and give a quick synopsis uh, of, of, of how this full moon and the other energies will affect you. Hi, Aries. Okay, so, well, first, if you hear this snoring, it's my pug. Sorry about that. So, the synopsis of this full moon for you, Aries, is there is an ending or a culmination, a fruition of your past efforts regarding a family member, a family situation, your home, or your living situation. Um, and it is in regards to a surprising revelation of a comeback, some sort of a comeback, a resurrection regarding your second house of job, income, and or your value system. Most importantly, this revelation might be that you realize that whatever this fallout was regarding a home and family situation back in October, and especially it's hitting those degrees of the super full moon on October 17th in your sign, where um, your sign opposed Libra. So that is your relationship house. So there was a separation, an ending regarding a relationship that you felt was needy or maybe codependent, and you wanted to be free of that. And the family was involved, or it could have been a family member. So it's triggering those degrees. Um, and since Mars is retrograde now, you're getting this second layer, the second piece of information that was either held from you during that super full moon, or sorry, you could have been you could have withheld that information, or you're feeling you might have been apprehensive to say what it was. So this is bringing it out and triggering this ending, this full moon ending or fruition. But then the full moon will conjoin Mars retrograde in Cancer, and it will trine Neptune in Pisces. So this triggers some kind of healing and understanding. The realization uh, might also include that you realize that this partner or this family relationship or whatever dust storm that was kicked up, you realize that they really do need you. They are not made of your stock. You're ruled by the god of war, Mars. You are fearless. I'm not saying you're not emotional, but your mind is super fast. you play 4D chess in your mind. So when you realize something is not working, it's not going forward, and that's all you know how to do is go forward because Mars is your ruler. You are able to drop a situation that's not working. You are able to drop it like a hot potato. But here you realize that others are not made of your stock, that they do need you, they do need your support. And I don't want to say, they're uh, emotionally handicapped or needy. Emotional people can be also strong. But in regards to you, because this is about you versus them, you realize here that they do need more hand holding, and this may cause some kind of a resentment in you because since you are always the shoulder to cry on, or their rock, their hero, you might find some kind of resentment where you're like, well, okay, when it's my turn, I can't get that. But Neptune is helping you understand how to come full circle with that and find the compassion to actually, uh, maybe this first layer is forgiving yourself, because then Mars will go direct, and you get, like I said, the whole picture, and you are able to forgive others. Because right now, with this full moon and this healing compassion taking place, there might be a tentative decision because either, again, there's another layer of information, or you might be withholding something as well because you're just not ready to reveal it or release it. Um, and once Mars goes direct, then that's when, like I said, you are able to express whatever you're holding back now, whatever is causing this tentative, this shaky um, resolution. But all is good because then Jupiter enters Cancer, and all this will be just something to about, or it will be like melancholy with exciting new things expanding with your home and family. Okay, Aries, that is all I'm going to do is just, like I said, it's a quick thing on the full moon. Okay, Taurus. Okay, Taurus. So this is a quick synopsis on the full moon, mostly, and I will just touch on one or two aspects later on. Later on, because I think I'm going to be doing mid-month horoscopes, or maybe even weekly, because we're coming into big changes. So there's a lot of moving and shaking going on. So the synopsis of this full moon for you, Taurus, is an ending, um, or a fruition of your past efforts regarding something about your neighborhood, about your commuting, um, siblings or cousins here, and communication. It could also include social media. So this full moon is hitting the degrees that we had at the super full moon in October 17th last year. It was a super full moon in Aries, which opposed Libra. And Aries for you is your 12th house of your psyche and your past, of any hidden enemies as well, and other things. But and Libra for you is your 6th house of health, habits, and routines. So there was some sort of a needy codependency situation regarding health, habits, and routines, and you're wanting to be free of that. Your mind, um, you're wanting to be liberated from this routine. It's triggering those points, those degrees. But there is some kind of a surprise, a revelation, a revival, or a comeback, um, about you personally, the way, it's about your image or your profile or how you're seen. There is some kind of and since it is in aspecting your third house of communication, um, this realization triggers a conversation or a heated debate, regard maybe with partners. So be careful how you communicate with partners. And but mostly what I see is it's about a sibling or a cousin or a neighbor, or yeah, um, or maybe in regards to a close knit community, but you guys know each other personally. Um, and it might be in relations to a foreigner or a foreign situation. But in any case, this surprise, like I said, this revelation, this comeback, this realization triggers the ending in this full in your third house of communication or siblings, um, because then the full moon conjoins Mars in Cancer, um, which is retrograde. Mars is retrograde, and Mars is the ruler of Aries. So again, it's something in regards to the past or your psyche. And Cancer is, like I said, your third house. But Cancer is also natally rules the home and family and parents. So that's also in the mix. A lot of things involved. Um, but with this realization and this outburst, it triggers this discussion, and then full moon conjoining Mars retrograde in Cancer trines Neptune in Pisces. So then the result is some kind of a healing, some kind of a compassionate understanding that this family situation really does need compassion to be understood. If you heard the intro, it's a full, we call it a full wolf moon. And usually wolves howl during the winter and during a storm when they lose each other so that they can find each other again, especially if one, they call it a lonely wolf call is when one wolf is separated from the pack and wants to find their home, way back. And you are very compassionate, Taurus. So that's what this realization is coming. That's what Neptune is helping you to understand, that this person either feels disregarded or lost or somehow away from your family, this family. And you do realize that they do need um, to be recognized. In any case, it does. It's a very beautiful trine to Neptune and Pisces. So, and it might move to a tentative sort of agreement or resolution here, um, because something is still being withheld, as something was withheld back during the super full moon in October, and Mars is now revealing, and we're getting this tentative resolution or compassionate healing. And it might start with you forgiving yourself first, as Mars will station direct and go direct in Cancer. We get then the full story. You get the another layer of what is also being here during this full moon sort of withheld, um, maybe because of apprehension of how you, or maybe you are withholding some information because you're apprehensive of how others may feel. So there is yet another layer. That's why Mars keeps going back and forth over these degrees. Okay, so it looks like a nice full moon. It starts out like with a bang, with a surprise, and then it gets heated and emotional. But then there's healing and compassion and understanding, and it involves family and your third house of communication, um, and you personally, your image, how you're seen, um, as well as friends or something about your visions of the future. All right, Taurus, so just light and love. Stay strong. Hi, Gemini. So the quick synopsis on this full moon for you has to do with something in regards to your money, job, and especially your value system. There is an ending here, or a fruition or a culmination of your past efforts here. Now, this full moon does conjoin Mars in Cancer. Um, and this full moon is triggering the degrees of the super full moon in Aries back on October 17th. There was an ending there in regards to love, romance, maybe a child, or pets or gambling. And it was somehow that needed to be liberated of a friend or group situation that was taking most of your time or was codependent of you, and you wanted freedom from that group, from that circle, um, so that you could be liberated regarding your children or a love romance situation. Now, what triggers this full moon is a surprising revelation, um, or an outburst or an excitement that is in regards to your 12th house of secrets in the past, Gemini, and any hidden enemies. And since you are the ruler of the third house of communication and siblings, this might come through uh, a realization, a surprise, maybe through a text or an email or a communication, um, through one of these people, through your sibling or your cousin or the neighbors. and this triggers this excitement, this revelation triggers this full moon, and then the full moon, like I said, will conjoin Mars in Cancer. Now, Cancer is, like I said, your second house of money and value system, but it also rules the family natally. So the family is involved somehow as well. Maybe it's in regards to the sibling or cousin. Um, but then, when the full moon conjoins Mars retrograde in Cancer, it trines Neptune in Pisces, and there's some sort of a healing or a compassionate realization um, that only your 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 career, your reputation, your status, or authority figures, that journey, um, or how people see your career and status, that helps you to be compassionate and understanding in regards to this money and value situation. This harks from the past, Gemini, and involves your siblings. For most of you, it's your siblings. And this love romance situation. Maybe it's not even your love or romance. Maybe it's in regards, you're experiencing it personally through a sibling. But it does contribute to this healing and forgiveness. And there is a layer that was not revealed to you, or you did not reveal um, back during that break with the full moon in super full moon in Aries in your romance and love and children sector, and with your friends. So Mars is retrograde in Cancer, and it will be going back and forth over these degrees that it did in October. And this is another layer that is being revealed here to you. And there, with this full moon ending, or a culmination, and the surprise reveal, maybe within your psyche or regarding the past, um, triggering this compassion, there is some kind of a resolution or agreement, but it is tentative, because there, either withholding some information, or the others are as well. That's why it is a tentative place you are in right now. um, and but with the compassion, and it might be you forgiving yourself. Okay, you understanding that. And then when Mars stations direct and goes direct in Cancer in your second house of values and job, then you get another layer in the full story, and you're able to forgive others if it's in regards to your value system. If it's in regards to a job, um, then when it goes direct, starting in February and through March, then you might either see a promotion, or a change of job, or maybe some kind of a resolution, because Jupiter will enter Cancer in June or July. And like I said, for you guys, well, like I said, in your January 2025 and year ahead scope, um, you're your job is set to expand somehow. um, Promotions, um, new jobs, maybe even two jobs or something, but it's something that you enjoy and that you like and that you've been dreaming about. And for you guys as well, something about relocation or travel. If you're students, then that would be normal and natural. But that's the synopsis of this full moon, okay? Um, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I usually do answer the questions. All right. Hi, Cancer. So we have a full moon in your sign, Cancer. And of course, you are ruled by the moon. So this will be highly intense for you. Um, and yeah, you will feel this more than others. Or your partners are going to feel this. Maybe you rule food, home, and earth. Just don't start any food fights. Don't be popping anyone with a pie in their face. Um, yeah, so it is in regards to how you are physically seen, your persona, your profile, um, and just your image. So, what is triggering this full moon is, one, there is some type of a resurrection, a revival, um, in regards to your 10th house of career status, or reputation. There's some kind of a comeback, and there's a surprise reveal that you are really excited about. Um, and it's triggering, you shedding that old layer, that old skin of yours, and leaving it behind. It can also be a culmination or a fruition of your past efforts here regarding your image for the past 6 months or a year. Now, these degrees of the full moon and Uranus and Taurus, and even the sun in Capricorn, they are actually triggering the super full moon we had in Aries on October 17th last year. It was quite an explosive super full moon. And Aries is your ninth house of foreigners, foreign people, travel, higher education, and maybe there was something about a publishing deal or something like that going on. Mm. Um, so whatever ended there, because Aries opposed Libra, um, and Libra is your third house of communication, commuting, um, and the written word. So you wanted something regarding travel or foreigner or publishing. You wanted to be independent of this third house activity, neediness. Maybe you needed to learn a different language or learn a different way to communicate, or maybe it involved a sibling or a cousin, and as well as a family situation because the you rule family and home. Okay, maybe there's a relocation, something about a home or living situation. So these degrees are triggering that because that was also in the mix. And this is why tensions are high, and maybe discussions will become very heated here. But then later on, just at around 11 p.m., and you might feel this way before or after or whatever, the moon in your sign will conjoin Mars retrograde and also in your sign. So your emotions or any emotional outburst will reveal to you um, something about your actions that you took in October. And it is retrograde, so it's some kind of an internal conflict that you'll have with that. However, then the moon and Mars retrograde in your sign will both trine Neptune and Pisces. So there this this second layer that is being revealed to you regarding your actions that you did not have back in October, or maybe you withheld. Because remember, so full moons, yes, are full and they illuminate. However, they're still at night. They're still hidden. Um, so there's still something there that is hidden. Okay, you are the crab. You retreat in your shell and you hide. So you might have, maybe subconsciously hidden something, or something was hidden from you. In any case, uh, with this second layer that Mars is giving you a piece of information or a news or a realization, it triggers some kind of a healing, some kind of a forgiveness, because it's trining Neptune in Pisces, and Pisces is your eighth house of intimacy, of inheritance, of government benefits, of the taboos, secrets in the past. Okay, so there's some kind of a healing, some kind of a compassionate understanding, and because it's another layer, and it's still retrograde, Mars is still retrograde. Maybe you're withholding another part of your emotions here. So there might be maybe some sort of a shaky or a tentative resolution here, because of this compassion. And when Mars will go direct in your sign and trigger these same degrees, you'll then get the full story. And then you'll be able to move forward with the full forgiveness or resolution, because then um, um, at that time, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Because at that time, something ends in Pisces. And then, oh, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, here you're forgiving yourself, and you're sort of forgiving the other or whatever this is. But when Mars goes to direct and Neptune ends its journey in Pisces, they're both like happening at the same time. Then you're able to forgive others, because partnerships um, are mirrors. They reflect back to us how we feel inside, and we have to start. Forgiveness starts with forgiving ourselves first before we can forgive others. Love begins with us loving ourselves before others can love us, and so on and so forth. In any case, this was just a short synopsis on this full moon. I did say in the intro that I might start. I just work full time, so I might, though, start, since I'm getting a lot of interest, doing mid month and maybe even weekly scopes. And weekly scopes mainly because there's a huge big changes. If you've heard my 2025 yearly scope, and I feel it's really important because they're going to be happening fast and hard, air and fire signs. Woohoo! All right, Cancer, take care. Hi, Leo. Leo, we have a full moon in Cancer. And Cancer is your 12th house of the past, of your psyche, um, and your mental psyche, your health regarding your mental psyche, um, any hidden enemies, dreams, um, but really vivid dreams, reoccurring dreams, and so forth. So you might have been having some really intense dreams. But what is triggering this film? So there's an ending here, okay? There's an ending in regards to the past or something about your faith or psyche, and for others it can be maybe because you had Capricorn in your sixth house of health and habits and routines. Maybe you are like taking medicine or something like that. That ends as well. In any case, yes, this is an ending here or a fruition of your past efforts since like about 6 months ago or more, maybe before that. Shh, shh, shh. I'm babysitting two Shih Tzus and my own pug, so um, um, yeah, it can be either an ending or a fruition of your past efforts here, Leo. Now, what triggers this ending is there is some kind of a comeback, a revival. Um, in Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus for you is your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations, or your hopes and visions of the future. So some kind of a revival here, or a resurrection, and but there's a surprise element to it because it's Uranus. So maybe a surprising information that you were hoping for, or in regards to a friend that the full moon that your house of psyche in the past is actually happy about, is excited about it, and it triggers a full moon ending. So a layer of maybe any of your fears or your past is ending um, uh, at this time, or like I said, maybe a fruition of an ending of a drug use. And I'm not saying like drugs like hard drugs. I'm just saying maybe you have a health regimen that you were taking some particular kind of prescription regularly. Maybe that ends. In any case, then also these degrees of the full moon and Uranus in Taurus, Capricorn, Sun in Capricorn, your health habits and routine. These degrees are triggering an ending that happened during the super full moon in Aries back on October 17th of last year. Okay, and Aries is your 10th house of career and status, your reputation, and authority figures, which that super full moon in Aries did oppose Libra. Um, so that was your fourth house of home and family. So something regarding your career, your status, your reputation was wanting liberation from a home and family situation that was pretty needy and codependent. These degrees are triggering that ending, that type of ending, that fallout, and because it's triggering that, there's this emotional outburst, either from you or others, um, and which triggers this past memory or what have you. Now, because that is happening, we then have the moon in Cancer conjoin Mars retrograde also in Cancer. So you've been hot and heavy in your mind lately, reviewing things, reviewing your past actions, and things like that. So that triggers some sort of a compassion, some understanding, another layer that might have been hidden from you in October. You get another layer, another truth come out, or something that uh, that makes you very compassionate, gives you a compassionate understanding of what it is that this is all about. Because the full moon and Mars retrograde in Cancer will trine Neptune in Pisces, and there is some sort of an agreement or tentative resolution or forgiveness. And I say tentative only because Mars is still retrograde, and there will be yet another layer and then a completion to this story, and that is being still withheld somehow, another little thing. And you might be withholding something only because maybe you don't want to upset this new forgiveness phase or hurt anyone's feelings, because you are considered the nurturing father, even if you're a female. The sun is the nurturing father. Saturn is the strict father, and so forth. So yeah, so that's what's happening during this full moon, but it is this compassionate healing and understanding and this forgiveness. And this might be first forgiving yourself here. And when Mars goes direct in Cancer, um, and we get the same oppositions and what have you, then we are able to have another discussion and forgive others, because first we forgive ourselves, then we forgive others. The same analogy as we have to love ourselves first, then we can love others. All right, so this was just on the full moon, Leo. I will be doing, I think, mid-month because I'm getting a lot of interest, but I'm also contemplating doing weekly because we have really big energy shifts. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Libra. So this is just a short synopsis of this full moon in Cancer. So we do have an ending here, or it could be a fruition, a culmination of our past efforts. And Cancer for you is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. And what is triggering this full moon is two things. One is um, there is some kind of a revival or a resurrection, a comeback um, in Taurus, which for you, Taurus is your 8th house of joint finances, intimacy, inheritance, government benefits, excuse me, or taboos or secrets or the past. Sorry, I apologize. So there is some kind of a revival, a comeback, some exciting news, or maybe an outburst or a revelation, a surprising revelation here that is um, actually working in your favor in regards to your career and status and reputation, um, because it is sextiling Uranus and Taurus. So is the Sun in Capricorn. So your home and family is also um, looked favorably upon regarding this surprise element. Now, full moon, um, excuse me, the full moon degrees and Uranus and Taurus, even the Sun in Capricorn, the degrees are triggering something that ended back during the super crazy full moon in Aries. I love you, Aries. Don't get mad. Uh, that opposed your sun back on October 17th of last year. It was explosive, and especially so for you, because there was an ending here, a separation, um, a snap. So it's triggering that those memories are flooding in, and because it was Cancer, uh, in separate from your career status, Cancer also natally rules the family, a living situation. And I've gone through the horrible things you've gone through, the dark, dark period you've gone through with a home or living situation or your parents, in my 2025 yearly scope. You can listen to that if you haven't. So this full moon might be emotional for you guys. It might be really intense because it's involving all this home and family, partnerships, endings, separations, living situation. Um, yeah, I'm taking like a sigh because I know what you've been through, and this joint finances issue. So it is an ending. It is a culmination of your past efforts. Um, but like I mentioned in the 2025 scopes, it's not a super full moon. Neither is it like an eclipse. It's a 24 degrees. It's just triggering that thing in October. So it is something that you probably welcome, but they're still emotional. Full moons, and especially Cancer, is a very sensitive sign. So it's going to be an emotional. It might be an outburst here. But once the moon then conjoins Mars retrograde in Cancer, uh, you get another layer. You another information, another layer that was not revealed to you back in October. That is being revealed now when it's going retrograde. Remember, Mars will keep going back and forth over these degrees. And what planets do when they retrograde, they bring back another piece of the puzzle that was missing. So when it conjoins, the full moon conjoins Mars retrograde, and you get this other layer, this other piece of information, it trines Neptune in Pisces. Now, Pisces is your 6th house of health, habits, routines, taking care of anyone, and pets, small pets. So it's triggering this compassionate understanding, which is also revealing maybe why you might have had a health issue or a scheduling problem, or it might be in regards to a parent or someone you're taking care of. And there's forgiveness here, and this might be you forgiving yourself, because it looks like a tentative agreement, like a shaky forgiveness, per se, because Mars is still retrograde. There is yet another layer to complete the story, and that will happen when Mars stations direct and goes direct in Cancer, and you get the full story. We trigger these same degrees again. There might be another outburst because we have another Pluto opposition, and then also has aspects to Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune is ending its journey in Pisces, so that might be, the that watershed moment. Sorry, and that might be that third and final layer might then um, have you forgive the other. Okay, um, because first we have to forgive ourselves before we can forgive others. As such, we have to love ourselves first before we attract love to us, before someone else can love us. All right, Libra. This, like I said, this was a very short synopsis on the full moon. I will be doing mid-month scopes, if not weekly, because we have these. Well, because I'm getting a lot of interest now, yay! And also because we do have these huge changes coming in fast and hard, right? And I want to be there to experience it with you guys, and maybe hold your hands through it, or you can hold my hand through it. All right, take care, Libra. Hi, Scorpio. We have a full moon in Cancer. And Cancer is your ninth house of foreigners, long distance traveling, publishing, um, foreign lands, and the World Wide Web. So there is an ending here, or a culmination of your past efforts, maybe in the past 6 months to a year. And this full moon is triggered by some kind of a resurrection, some kind of a revival, or a comeback story um, in Taurus, which is your seventh house of partners, business or personal, or anyone who knows you really well. So, uh, with the intensity of the full moon, there's some kind of an outburst, and there's something here that is revealed by surprise and causes this resurrection, this revival, this comeback, which triggers this full moon in Cancer. Now, these degrees, the full moon in Cancer, Uranus in Taurus, the surprising revelation and comeback, the sun in Capricorn, these degrees are triggering the same degrees regarding that super full moon in Aries back on October 17th in 2024, which was a very volatile full moon. There was some kind of an ending, separation, or a snap. Um, in your Aries related house, which opposed the Libra sun. Now, Aries for you is your fourth house of home, family, your parents, your country, your clan, um, and patriotism or pride is also here. You and then Libra is your 10th house of career status, reputation, and authority figures. So your partner or your partnering or a family situation wanted to be independent of something regarding your reputation, your status, uh, any authority figures, uh, regarding your career, because that was sort of needy of you. It needed a lot of your time, and your home and family situation. You wanted some kind of a liberation there, okay? But it triggered some kind of an ending, snap. What uh, ending, snap, or a break, or a separation? And that is all in the mix here as well, because it's triggering those degrees. So that ending is also being mentioned here with this full moon. Now, since, like I said, Cancer rules your ninth house of home of the travelers and long distance travel, but Cancer also natally rules the home and family. So your home living situation or family is also all in this hot mess with Scorpio. But with this outburst, with this intensity, with this emotion that might, come break through, the moon then will conjoin Mars retrograde in Cancer, and then it will trine Neptune in Pisces. So this intensity leads to a revelation regarding a foreigner, or a long distance travel, or a publishing thing. Um, it leads to this a layer or an understanding that was not revealed to you back in October. You get a second layer because remember, Mars is retrograde, and retrograde planets, what they do is they go back and forth over these degrees because, and when they come back, they give us these missing pieces of the puzzle. So, with this understanding, with the second layer that you get, it triggers some kind of a healing compassion in you. Um, it's Neptune in Pisces. And Pisces is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, also, and pets or gambling. So it triggers some sort of a compassionate understanding via your experience with your love, romance, or children, or creativity. And then leading to some sort of a forgiveness or a tentative resolution or agreement. Why I say tentative or like a shaky resolution is because we there is yet another layer that completes this story because Mars is retrograde, and when it stations direct to go and complete this story, you get then the full picture. So maybe here with this compassionate understanding, maybe here you're actually forgiving yourself first, and then when the complete story and you get another layer, then you can forgive others. Maybe that's happening, or maybe vice versa. Um, but yeah, we will get another layer of this. And this full moon does not really look to be an ending, like a complete ending in your ninth house of publishing and travel, because you will, your this house is set to expand beginning in July and big time. And it is in regards to also a family situation, maybe parents or siblings. Um, yeah, so whatever happens with this full moon and this intensity, these outbursts and this healing and all that, it will be all worthwhile when Jupiter will enter Cancer, and this will expand and heal for you big time. So that's all I'm going to do because it was just on the full moon, and I probably will be doing mid-month because I'm getting a lot of interest. Yay! But also because um, there's a lot of energies, a huge shift, and they're coming in hot and fast. Like next week, we're being pushed into the future. So I might also be doing weekly ones. It's just I work full time and I'm trying to find the time. In any case, I hope you found this informative. Give it a like, please. It's free. All right, Scorpio, I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Sagittarius. So we have a full moon in Cancer, and Cancer is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, government benefits, secrets, and the past. Um, and this might be an ending or a fruition of your past efforts here that you've been working on. And this full moon is being triggered by something regarding your health habits and routines. Um, there is some sort of a revival here or a comeback of some sort or something like that that is actually sitting well with this full moon and regarding your income and your job or your value system. Now it's still a full moon. Cancer is still is a water sign. It's a very sensitive sign, and it is Cancer does natally rule the home and family. So there is some high intensity, this emotion in regards to a home and family situation as well as this secret or behind the scenes issue, or how other people value you, because that's the eighth house. And so this ending might be an ending, or like I said, it might be a culmination because you've been working on this for now. The full moon will conjoin Mars retrograde in Cancer. Okay, and before I get to that, I wanted to mention these degrees of the full moon of Uranus and Taurus and Sun in Capricorn, your second house. These degrees are triggering the super full moon we had back in October 17th in Aries, which opposed the Libra Sun. So it was a volatile super full moon. If you did not feel it, you definitely personally felt it through others. So Aries is your fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. And pets are also here, and gambling. And Libra is your 11th house of friends, groups, your hopes and visions of the future, your hopes, wishes, and dreams of the future, and or a friend, but covers more friends and groups. So there was some kind of a situation regarding your love, romance, children, or creativity that you wanted freedom of your 11th house. Your 11th house of friend or group was in some type of a way uh, needy of this love relationship, but wanted to stay like a friend type of deal. Then, but you wanted to be free of that friendship relationship. Maybe you wanted that friendship to turn into a romance thing. Or because Mars was in Cancer, with the family and home situation, it could have had something to do with, like I said, love, romance, a child, creativity, and then this friendship thing. Um, and then there's also you rule the ninth house of foreigners, foreign travel, and all that. So that was also triggered here. So it was a hot mess with that super full moon, and this full moon with that Aries full moon. I meant with this full moon in Cancer. And Uranus and Taurus, it's triggering those degrees. So this full moon, this intensity, this emotion, it's bringing that subject back up again. Okay, um, and it might turn into this outburst or what have you. But then we have the full moon in Cancer conjoining Mars retrograde in Cancer. So so you're getting another layer, another piece of information that was either hidden from you or you withheld when Mars was direct in Cancer in your eighth house. Remember, I said it might be like a fruition of your past efforts. Like I said, there was heat and urgency regarding this joint finance issue or this intimacy issue that was hot and heavy, and there's some kind of a rush in October. And but something was withheld, some information, a layer was skipped or withheld, or you were uh, keeping secretive about this, because this also, the eighth house also rules the secrets in the past, but it's in regards to a family situation here with you, uh, Sagittarius. So with this revelation that's happening, because Mars is retrograde, so it's going back and forth over these degrees. And what retrograde planets do is they give us a missing piece of the puzzle. So with this revelation um, that you're getting, and with this full moon intensity and outburst or excitement, it's trining Neptune in Pisces, which Pisces is your fourth house of home, family, parents, and your physical home, your living situation. It's triggering some sort of a compassionate understanding here. Okay, because Pisces also rules the past and your psyche. So there's some kind of a forgiveness, or some kind of maybe moving forward, or maybe a resolution, or but it's tentative, Sagittarius, because um, something is still yet withheld. Maybe you are not revealing everything because maybe you're apprehensive, you don't want to shake the apple cart, or maybe somebody else is not fully forthcoming, and you feel this because there is yet another layer, because Mars is still retrograde. So when Mars stations direct in Cancer and goes forward, you get the full story, you get the complete. And when it triggers these degrees again, then and it's coinciding with the end of Neptune's journey in Pisces. It's going to be a very heavy duty watershed moment, and complete story and complete forgiveness in a melancholy, sweet, bittersweet way. Um, so maybe here, what I mean by shaky or tentative, maybe here you are forgiving either the other or yourself, and then at the end of this story of Mars and Cancer, you forgive the other, or vice versa. But this will all be worth it, as Jupiter will come into Cancer in June, July, and this area of your life, this world of your life, will is set to expand big. So it'll be all worth it. It will heal all this, and you are protected here. You do get benefactors. So whatever fear you have of a joint finances situation or an intimacy or something like that is becoming, it's coming full circle, and it's coming some kind of benefactors and healing opportunity. All right, Sagittarius. Like I said, this was just a synopsis of the full moon. I'm telling all the signs, I'll probably be doing mid month or weekly, because we have these huge changes that are coming in hot and fast, starting actually next week. And because I'm getting a lot of interest, yay! Thank you guys. So keep smashing that like button. It's really helping me out. All right, talk to you soon. Hi, Capricorn. Your worst subject, Capricorn. A full moon, and an emotional full moon at that. Um, we have a full moon in Cancer, um, and Cancer is your seventh house of partners, personal, business, and anyone who really knows you really well. There is an ending here, Capricorn, or a culmination of your past efforts um, regarding a partner or partnerships. This ending, excuse me, is triggered by some kind of a surprise revelation, information um, uh, regarding Taurus, Uranus and Taurus. Taurus is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and pets and gambling is found here. So some kind of a revelatory outburst, excitement that is actually sextiling this full moon in Cancer, your partnership house. It's a nice, exciting situation for your partnership house, um, and it trines your sun. So something about you, the way you're seen, your image, and all that. Now, these degrees of the full moon, the sun in your sign, and Uranus in Taurus, these degrees are also triggering um, the the super full moon in Aries back on October 17th of last year. There was an ending here, and it was explosive. It was very fiery. If you did not feel it, you personally felt it through others. Something ended there. Something snapped. There was a fallout. So this full moon is triggering those degrees. That conversation is coming up again, um, and thus the heated exchange and the emotional, oh, emotional maybe, you know, Cancer. It's water, and which you don't like that emotional distress. I'm laughing with you, Capricorn. I'm laughing with you. But you get bewildered with these emotional displays and outbursts because you just don't understand why people just can't move on, because you were taught to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and emotions are useless. But with this full moon, this revelation, this surprise, you do realize that um, whatever happened and whatever this person or this family went through, um, it is hard. They are not like you. You have power now. Pluto completed his journey with you in your sign, so you have this power. But these family members or this partner or whatever do not have your same power, and then what happens is this full moon in Cancer will conjoin Mars, also retro. Mars is retrograde rather in Cancer. So you're getting another layer of information. Maybe it's an esoteric understanding that was not revealed during that maelstrom in October, or it was withheld from you, or maybe you didn't understand it because it was very emotional and explosive. Um, you are getting this realization, this new layer um, regarding it, and it's triggering some kind of a compassionate understanding because the full moon in Cancer will conjoin, like I said, Mars retrograde in Cancer, and then it will trine Neptune in Pisces. Now, so Pisces is your third house of communication, commuting, um, siblings and cousins, your neighborhood, the need to be heard. So with this full moon and Mars retrograde in Cancer, trining Neptune in Pisces, so with this revelation, with this second layer of understanding, is triggering a compassionate communication. And the third house also rules the way you think. So a compassionate thought process. And it might be setting up some kind of a tentative resolve or agreement, maybe a shaky agreement. Why I say that is because there is yet another layer that will be added to this. Because Mars is retrograde, so when it stations direct and starts moving forward, you get the last missing puzzle piece, and you get the complete story. So this might be just maybe you're forgiving the other, and then with the end of the story, you forgive yourself, or vice versa, something like that. That's maybe why it's a wait and see. We'll see what happens. Something of that nature in here. So that is the full moon. Just uh, yeah, just I know you just don't do emotions. You're probably already going like, oh, who again? But it's all good. You are not wiser than the universe, especially God. So there's a reason for all this. All right, Capricorn. I will. This was just a short synopsis on this full moon. But because you guys, I'm getting a lot of support and interest. Thank you to all. I am thinking of doing mid-month also scopes, if not weekly. Not only because I'm getting a lot of interest, but because there are huge changes, and they're coming in fast and hard, and which is next week we're getting this huge shift as well. So I don't want anybody lost or caught up in all the, you know, all this new shifts rolling in and blah blah blah. So yeah, look for that. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, we have a full moon in Cancer. And Cancer is your sixth house of health habits, routine, scheduling, taking care of anyone, and small pets. So, a full moon is an ending or a culmination, a fruition of your past efforts regarding this area of your life. And this is being triggered by uh, some sort of a surprise resurrection, a comeback, or a surprise maybe outburst or revelation in regards to Taurus. And Taurus is your fourth house of home, family, parents, um, country, pride, clan, blah, 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 or your living situation. Okay. There's that is triggering this full moon. Now, this surprise information regarding your home and family situation uh, or revealed through an outburst or something is actually sitting well with this ending in your in your cancer related house. um, Maybe this the tension that you've had with home and family, and you've had to do all this running around. Maybe that's why it's pleasing for this full moon, because you get to drop one layer of that busyness that maybe you've been doing with home and family, because the sun in Capricorn is also trining Uranus and Taurus, your home and family. So your psyche is becoming relaxed or at ease, um, eh, or the past somehow is being like, oh, okay, this is good. This will change things. Something like that is happening. Now, these degrees are also triggering the super full moon we had in Aries back on October 17th of last year, which was a very volatile full moon. Love you, Aries. But it was a fiery exchange that something ended here. Something snapped. There was some kind of a maelstrom. If you did not feel it directly, you did personally feel it through someone close. And Aries is your third house of communication, your neighborhood, a neighbor maybe, siblings or cousins, um, or while commuting. So, and that super full moon was opposed by the Libra sun, and Libra rules your ninth house of foreigners, long distance travel, higher education, or publishing. Um, so that tug of war was brewing then, but something ended here. Something between your communication, commuting, a sibling, social media, and a foreigner, travel, or higher education or publishing. So that memory, those discussions, that fallout is also in this mix, in this full moon mix. That is being remembered here, discussed, and thus maybe the intensity or the emotional, maybe an emotional outburst. But then the full moon in Cancer will conjoin Mars retrograde in Cancer at 27 degrees later on, which will trine Neptune in Pisces. So Pisces for you is your second house of job, income, and your value system. So when Mars was direct in Cancer in October, and during this this maelstrom, there was something that was not revealed to you, or because of the whole chaos thing, something was withheld. Maybe somebody was afraid or apprehensive about revealing something here. But with this full moon and this surprising outburst, this communication, you get a second layer regarding the outburst, because Mars is retrograde and Mars is going to keep going back and forth over these degrees. And what retrograde planets do is they bring us back a missing piece of the puzzle. They bring us back uh, a layer. And with Moon in with the full moon in Cancer conjoining Mars retrograde in Cancer, and you getting this other information that was maybe hidden from you, or maybe you withheld, it triggers this compassionate healing, this compassionate understanding regarding either your value system or a job or about your income. And there is some tentative agreement or maybe a shaky uh, uh, way forward. And why I say tentative or shaky is because um, the, there is yet another layer that will be revealed to you, or you may reveal in the future, when Mars stations direct in Cancer and starts to complete this journey. You get the final piece of the puzzle, and then you are able to have this complete healing and forgiveness, because then it coincides with Neptune leaving Pisces, leaving your second house of job and income. It coincides at the same time. So you come this full circle, and you get this missing piece of the puzzle here with your routine and your health, and your habits. Um, and maybe it is then a complete forgiveness of everyone involved. But yeah, you too, you're very similar to Capricorn, so you don't really do emotion, or you find it bizarre. So just prepare for that, because there might be some watershed moment here, but it is very therapeutic, and it is this compassion that's overwhelming. Neptune is helping with that. All right, Aquarius. So this was just a short synopsis on the full moon. I will be. I've decided to do either midweek or even weekly scopes, because there's a lot of new shifts happening as early as next week. They're coming in fast and hard, and it's all about you. So I didn't want anybody left behind or lost in this confusion of the past, the present. Get ready. Okay, well, here we are. And also because I'm getting a lot of interest. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. It is really helping me out, and hopefully I can make this a full-time thing. All right, Aquarius. So look for another video dropping soon. Thank you. Bye. Hi, Pisces. Pisces, we have a full moon in Cancer, and Cancer is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. So this is either an ending or a culmination of your past efforts regarding this area of your life. And this full moon is being triggered by some kind of a surprise, an exciting, uh, an information, an outburst um, regarding your third house of communication, commuting, the neighborhood, siblings or cousins, or maybe even social media. Um, there's a some kind of a comeback, some kind of a resurrection regarding your third house here, because we have Asclepia. I can never say her name. The asteroid Asclepia in Taurus, and then Uranus is trining the sun and trining sextiling this full moon. So there's this revelatory resurrection, surprise comeback, exciting news that is triggering this full moon in Cancer. That is actually, you're getting the surprise information that is really exciting, nice, regarding your fifth house of love, romance, or children. Um, but the degrees of this full moon, the sun in Capricorn trining Uranus and Taurus. So these degrees of all these is also triggering the sorry, the super full moon we had back in October 17th, with Aries, which Aries is your second house of job, income, and your value system, how you value yourself, who you will who you will sell out for or not. Oh, I forgot the saying. Who you will sell, whatever. It's regarding your value system, which was in opposition to the Libra sun. And Libra is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, secrets, and how others value you. So this full moon is triggering those degrees. The intensity and the emotion here is bringing up that conversation up, or that ending, that snap that happened then. Um, so that's why maybe an emotional outburst is also in the mix here. And let's not forget, Cancer natally rules the home and family. So your home and family, parents, and living situation is also in this mix. Now, this outburst, this snap, this whatever, this remembering this past event and having heated discussions, um, is good because then the full moon in Cancer will conjoin Mars retrograde in Cancer as well. Um, and Mars was what Mars is, and then it will trine Neptune in your sign. So what's happening here is when Mars was direct in Cancer in October, and we had that maelstrom with the with your second house and your eighth house axes of income and value system. There was something that was not revealed to you here about a lover or romance or a child, maybe. Uh, Maybe during that maelstrom, maybe during that heat, something was missed or something was hidden, not revealed, maybe because of the emotion and intensity involved. So Mars, like I've said in my previous videos, is going retrograde. It's going to keep going back and forth over these degrees because these relationships are important. And when planets go back and forth, um, uh, they bring us back a missing piece of the puzzle. So you're getting a second layer here. You're getting a second piece of puzzle here that is triggering an understanding, a compassionate understanding regarding you or regarding how you appear or how you physically changed. So something is being revealed to you here that was not revealed back then that is triggering this compassion, either for you or you are realizing this understanding, and there's a flood of compassion and forgiveness here, Pisces. It's very beautiful. Um, whatever intensity or anger that pops up here is actually needed for this revelation and this compassion to come through. It's all good. In the end, it shakes out all good. And there is some kind of a tentative or a shaky, maybe reconcilement or resolution here. And I say tentative is because we have yet. I'm sorry, I'm dog sitting, so I've got like three dogs here. Um, there may be, um, not maybe, there will be another revelatory information when Mars stations direct and starts going in Cancer and is finishing up the story here. So there will be the final puzzle of this piece that will be revealed, and it's actually coinciding with the ending of Neptune in your sign. Oh my God, I'm so nostalgic just thinking about it. So there will be a full, complete story and compassion. It's a very melancholy, bittersweet ending of this story, and a complete forgiveness. And you are when this will not be all for naught. um, this will be all worth it as when Jupiter enters Cancer in July after this retrograde mess of Mars. And Jupiter is going to blow up your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and all that. You're going to be protected here, and you're going to have a lot of benefactors that will be either of lovers or romance or children, maybe your children. It's going to be all very good. Um, Once we're over all this, digging in deep and seeing where the insecurity is, where we're hurt, and having and forgiving, and others doing the same, and we all coming together and understanding all this. All right, Pisces. I hope I didn't confuse you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'm trying to answer all of them. And this was just on this full moon. I am telling all the signs. I think I will be doing a mid-month or even a weekly because there's these what I mentioned in your yearly scope for 2025, these big, huge changes and shifts. Well, one is coming next week, hot and fast, and I don't want anyone lost in the information and the past and going forward and all this new energy that's coming in. And plus, I'm getting a lot of interest. Thanks for supporting me. I mean, it's just small, big bump, but for me, it means a lot. So thank you so much. That's another reason I might be doing weekly, definitely mid-monthly. So yeah, please don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. All right, Pisces, take care, love and light.